Hello and welcome to another episode of One Fall WrestleCast Live. Tom and I are here with you this week on a Monday. My work schedule has been a little bit so we're happy to have you. Regardless, plenty of things to talk about this week, including Punk versus Rollins and the steel cage on Monday Night Raw, when one Roman Reigns decided to show up. Tom and I are going to dig into that. We've got some new tag team champions on SmackDown. Tom watched Revolution. Can't wait to hear all about that. The state of WWE's media library, I would like to discuss with Mr. Tom and a couple other fun things. Should be a good one. Let's have at it.
Welcome to the One Fall WrestleCast.
What's up, dude?
Nothing. Just finished watching Raw. Make sure
that's
I could
good.
get it in.
I have not.
I made sure I could get it in because I was already seeing spoilers online, and I'm like, I'm not gonna make it. They're gonna spoil it all for me if I don't watch it now. Well, there was really nothing to spoil, but
all I know is John Cena told the crowd to go fuck themselves.
Sure did.
And that's all I've got.
Cody called him a bitch.
Okay.
Whiny bitch. Excuse me.
That's all I've got.
That was like the first 30 minutes of the show.
That's all that I've got so far. So I will watch it at my regularly scheduled Monday night time when we do a podcast, and that is after said podcast. So, interesting week this week. I felt like everything that I saw this week was pretty good. I did watch Monday Night Raw. I watched a little bit of NXT. I watched a little bit of Collision, a little bit of Dynamite.
I did not watch Collision, but I did watch Dynamite.
Almost all of SmackDown. Getting used to the new schedule. It's not been very copacetic in the wrestling watching department, but I'll get it figured out soon.
We had to go. We were in state college. My daughter's team made it to the state championship, and so we were in state college all weekend. So I was there on Friday, and my 11-year-old son had to figure out how to get me the ability to watch wrestling on the TV and the Airbnb that we had, and he nailed it. First try in like 30 seconds. I had been fiddling with it for 15 minutes trying to cast it from my phone. And he's just like, wait, what's the app? And then he just like immediately got into it. And like, I don't own a Samsung TV. So that was, but he just, so yeah, my son really pulled through for me there on Friday. Yeah, those are good.
Shout out to the local Girl Scout group. They have a new cookie. It's called Adventurefuls.
Which ones are those?
It's like a chocolate brownie with caramel and sea salt.
That sounds delicious.
It was very good. I enjoyed it very, very much.
The peanut butter meltaways, I gotta say, are a ripoff because you get like 10. 12. Yeah, you don't get very many. It's not.
I mean, if we're being honest, this used to be a much larger box.
Mm-hmm.
Like these sleeves were like, I don't know, like at least 50% bigger when we were kids.
Yeah.
But I mean, I get it. Like it's a $6 box of cookies. Like what are you supposed to do? Yeah. But very good. I wish that the brownie wasn't so crispy. It's a brownie inspired cookie. But it, however, did not stop me from housing the entire box. So shout out to the Girl Scouts and your delicious.
So they nailed it, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I was real happy with all of that. So, hey, Bob, obviously last week while we were live, Revolution was a thing. We were kind of talking about it a little bit. I did not have a chance to watch it, but you did. We're keeping
did.
you up in, in the loop about it. So, or I would like to chit chat about it for, I don't know, 5 or 10 minutes. Let's not get too deep. It's already a week old.
Okay.
But yeah, so Revolution,
It
I've
was
heard,
a long show. Let me put it
yeah,
that. We'll start
yeah.
there. It was a
Are you
long show.
surprised?
I watched the 0 hour on YouTube at work really fast. If had I watched the 0 hour in anticipation of buying the pay per view, I would have immediately not bought the pay per view because the 0 hour was probably the worst, as it usually is. Some of the worst wrestling of the week.
I was just getting ready to say, I feel like every time we do a show and we talk about the 0 hour, it is always the worst thing that anybody's ever watched on television.
It's the worst thing I've seen since the last 0 hour. I'll put it that way. The worst bit of wrestling since the last one. But they did kick it off with MJF and Hangman Adam Page, which I thought was a great way to kick off the show and immediately had me hooked. And was a very good match.
So you're a fucking mark then.
Sure, great. Hangman Page beat MJF. I don't know if this is what's best for business in the long run, but it was good to see that. I did fast forward through Mercedes versus Momo because
What did you think about Bully Ray tweeting out that MJF and Hangman Adam Page are great and he can't wait until he sees them bring it all together in WWE?
Well, there were points in time in this match where, if thinking back on it now, I can't help but sort of agree, but also feel like WWE would, I don't want to say mishandle is the wrong word with MJF, but he's not big enough, like height wise, to be to like really make as much of an impact, I think, as he's been making in AEW. Now, that being said, is he about to be squandered in AEW? Hard to say. That being said, I know you said you didn't want to waste a ton of time on this. Swerve versus Ricochet was everything we hoped it would be. Oh, Jersey Mike's. We had that last week, Monday. Ricochet is getting appropriately booed, and I think Ricochet's heel work has been fantastic thus far, which I think is hard for Ricochet because he's usually a very flippy guy, and it's really hard for flippy guys to maintain a heel status for a long period of time. But Ricochet has been a solid prick. I don't know that I liked all of the work with getting Prince Nana involved in all this, and Prince Nana kind of got shoved by Swerve at some point during this match, and like there's a little too much drama that just kind of got inserted around Prince Nana here. But I mean, the match itself otherwise was, I thought, fantastic. Really, really good match. Like I said, so this would have been the third match on the card because I did fast forward through Mercedes and Mo, and I know Mercedes won. So I don't, honest to God, I don't care. She beats the Japanese Girl of the Week on a. It doesn't make sense. I hate it. But anyway,
you just hate her. That's all.
Well, I mean, this wasn't. I preferred her versus Harley Cameron during the week. That was much better. Harley Cameron's much more entertaining.
What? It's amazing to me that this time 3 years ago, Sasha Banks was the best thing to ever happen to your eye holes.
Well, because Sasha Banks was a different character than Mercedes Moné. This sucks. Whatever this is sucks.
I mean, I'm not going to argue with you, but like it's still literally the same person.
Yeah, but this sucks. This booking sucks. She just beats she was in an interesting thing with Harley Cameron. She beat Harley Cameron on television, and then she was immediately going against some Japanese girl I'd never seen before. She beat her, and nobody cares. Then the Continental Championship, Brody King versus Okada. I think I tweeted at you, or I texted you guys like I thought Okada was supposed to be good. Okada's AEW run is nothing short of dog shit. I don't get the hype with Okada. Maybe he used to be good. If he used to be good, he ain't no mo. Because that match was a stanker. Rolling on with stinkers. Unfortunately, to my chagrin, the Hurt Syndicate versus the Outrunners. It was also a pretty bad match. It was a little too competitive. I feel like the Hurt Syndicate probably should have just smashed these guys on television, and this could have easily cut out 20 minutes of this.
I don't disagree with that.
Overly bloated pay-per-view, and this did not belong on this card at all. They should have just blasted the shit out of them in 5 minutes on TV, and that would have been good. Now, this was, in my opinion, the match of the night, which was the AEW World Women's Championship, Timeless Toni Storm versus Mariah May. This match had everything, right? They did the thing where Toni Storm gets to be in black and white. She took off her robe thing, and she went from like in color to black and white with just the red. They really, really did a fantastic job here. Lots of blood in this match. Really kind of gory. They really got into it with the high heel, just digging into each other. And I really, really like, for as far as like kind of blowing off a blood feud, I really thought that this was good. This has kind of been building more or less over a year. This to me kind of, I don't know if it's as good as Drew versus Punk, but they've put as much effort and thought and time into this as they did with Drew and Punk. And I think it really paid off. And I think they really did a nice job with this match. Kind of stinks that it was sort of sandwiched in the middle of a card after two kind of crummy matches. But really probably, I think, stole the show. I think that was entirely their intention, was to steal the show. And I thought this was a good match.
You Toni Storm mark.
I really am, and that's fine. I'm fine with that. I can be a Toni Storm mark. The timeless gimmick for me has been flawless. So she's really been the best thing on AEW television. And if I don't watch it live, I will seek out that clip, particularly on YouTube, to watch it week in and week out. I think AEW needs more of that and less of Okada and whatever Mercedes are doing. Moving on, AEW International Championship, Kenny Omega versus Takeshita. I thought the Intercontinental Champion, the International and the Continental were the same thing, but they're not. Kenny Omega beat Takeshita. That was cool. It's the match you thought it was. Everybody knew what this match was going to be. It's exactly what it was, and good for them. And then we got another.
I did hear that they're talking about. What's the fucking word? Unifying the International and the Continental.
They should. And now that it's on Kenny to put Kenny versus Okada, I mean, it makes sense, but only if you've kept up with New Japan 10 years ago. So, I mean, cool, great. I hope it works out. We'll see. Then we get to a steel cage match with Ospreay versus Fletcher. This is another. I haven't been the biggest fan of this feud going in, but at least it's had a good bit of legs behind it and a good bit of push. Another blood feud, a lot of blood in this one too, which I think I'm glad Tony and Mariah got on first and got to bleed. I do think it took away from this a little bit, although this wasn't a steel cage, but they bled everywhere too. And they bled on Tony and Mariah's blood. So it was like blood, once that starts to happen, to me, and it's a long show, but these two matches were probably only about an hour or so apart. So it's hard to see blood and then more blood. And it's like, okay, but this was good. This was a great match. It beat the absolute shit out of each other. Good match. Pay-per-view quality, very much should have been on the card. And then we get to the main event, which, man, this would have stunk out 0 hour.
What's the matter? You're not into
buddy
the Rated R Superstar Cope and
no.
Yeah,
so this match,
Moxley.
Do you remember when?
Bro, it's so funny to me how hot and cold you are on Jon Moxley.
Do you? Well, because he's not doing top guy shit. So do you remember how slow?
When this Death Riders thing happened, you were fucking. Oh, John.
That's because it was good, and then it stopped being good. Like okay. I can be very. I can tell you when things are good and when they're bad. And
Daniel Bryan was right. You wrestling fans, you are fickle.
I'm fickle. Anyway, so this match had some of the worst. It started so slow. And for the first 15 minutes of this match, I'm pretty sure the crowd was asleep. I almost fell asleep. I took a break, ate some dinner, came back later.
Took a break. It was the main event.
Yeah, man. After the first 15 minutes, I'm like, all right, I need to eat some dinner and I'll come back to this because they're not getting anywhere. So they're just kind of not getting anywhere. Mox really isn't selling anything. Cope's just kind of laying around, getting up,
Dare you
hitting
call him
Mox.
Cope?
It's very slow, very plodding. Wasn't very good. And then, match goes on, and then all of a sudden, here comes Christian Cage. This match is now a triple threat. Guess what happens? Christian Cage gets choked out by Mox because Cope is laying down, which he's done for most of the match, by the way.
because
Adam
he's
Copeland.
old.
Right. Adam Copeland spent most of this match laying down. Christian Cage gets choked out. John Moxley retains. This whole match took 45 plus minutes, and it was garbage from the beginning through the middle, through the twist that everybody saw coming, and Mox retains. But also, Cope does not take the pin because Cope Hogan doesn't get pinned, brother. That doesn't work for him.
You're all in on this Cope Hogan thing,
buddy. This match was, if you'd have spent 45 minutes of your life watching this match, you'd have been more mad about it than I am.
I mean,
this was, and they laid an absolute
better ways to spend 45 minutes of my time, sir.
They laid an absolute steamer of a turd in the middle of the ring for this match. This was booked like shit. This match was worked like shit. If I'd have paid a ticket and this would have been the main event, I would not have gone home. I'd have gone home, what the fuck, like kicking shit on my way out and like, fuck AEW, fuck this shit, and like throwing my t-shirts and whatever. Like this was garbage is what this was. This was pure garbage.
So to add a little bit of context, a little bit of insight into the Cope Hogan thing, Tom and I have been like texting about this for a couple of weeks now, and what started it was this tweet that says, let's talk about Adam Cope Hogan. From 2020 to 2023, Edge wrestled 26 matches in WWE, winning 18 of them. The only person he was pinned by more than once was Roman Reigns. Otherwise, he, meaning Adam Cope Hogan, didn't put over Randy Orton. Facts. Didn't put over Seth Rollins. Facts. However, to be fair, those two kind of made sense to get him to where he needed to be for Roman. And they still didn't think he was there because they had to add Daniel Bryan in at the end. Didn't put over The Miz. Didn't put over AJ Styles. Didn't put over anyone in Judgment Day. Didn't put over Sheamus in his last match.
Buried the demon. Let's not forget he did take a loss to Finn Balor in that I Quit match, only because Rhea was going to concerto Beth, and then she did it anyway, which was great. But when they got the demon versus Edge, Edge put down the demon, and we've not seen the demon since. I don't think Finn Balor's won a singles match since then.
No, I don't think that he has. And as a matter of fact, I don't know if you've noticed in the Judge Day Clubhouse over the last several weeks, there is always a Finn Balor demon art of some sort in plain view. I'm telling you, you're going to owe Finn Balor an apology.
I hope so. I mean, not to spoil anything for you yet, but I don't know.
Okay. Didn't put over Sheamus in his last match.
Didn't put over Sheamus.
I agree with that one. I think that Sheamus definitely should have won that. That would have done a lot of wonders for Shamo. But at the same point in time, they were in Toronto. It was like the whole anniversary thing. You know, everybody feels good. You want to send the hometown crowd out with a feel-good moment. I mean, I get it. Like, that was like his, 25th or 30th anniversary with WWE, 25th.
Yeah, it was a little too special. And honestly, at that point, had he gone out on that note, like you had said before, that was, a 2 Hall of Fame career worthy runs, right?
Yeah.
A fantastic run, ended on a beautiful note. Could he got pinned maybe one more time in there somewhere? Yeah, but once we're there, if everybody felt good, it was fine. All right, Edge. Goodbye, Edge. We love you. Thank you for everything. It was amazing, right? Except That's not true at all.
No, because he felt the need to sign a contract with AEW because he wanted to go have fun with Uncle Jay.
Like fucking 2 weeks later.
In AEW, he has wrestled, he being Adam Cope Hogan, has wrestled 28 matches, losing only 5 times. The only person to pin him and get a decisive win over him is his best friend, Christian. And even then, they are tied 2-2 in AEW. This man is 51 years old. He's not wrestling to help the next generation. He's helping himself.
But helping himself to what? Like this, okay. Just to point out, like, if we're talking about Revolution as his sort of crescendo of his run thus far, like this is the tip of the mountain of this AEW run. The build to this was rocky at best. Okay, it found its legs toward the end, and then they just laid a steamer in the middle of the ring with this match. This match was, even Bleacher Report gave it a C and said, and that's probably being generous. Fucking Bleacher Report. Bleacher Report, like, loves to give AEW A's and B's down their line. They gave it a C, and they said they were being generous. This was a stinking pile of shit. Whoever booked this match deserves to be fired. Shouldn't book another angle or twist in a match ever again. Christian comes out, and now, okay, because of that, so to gloss over that, the what you had just said there, that was written before this happened. So now Christian is, well, I mean, I guess technically they both lost, but Christian ate the pin. Just, I mean, bad booking, bad storytelling, doesn't make sense. We got a 50-year-old man out here beating the next generation, just beating the brakes off the next generation.
I mean, it's all about that Adam Copeland legacy that he ruined by, retiring Edge. You know what I mean? And I don't get it at this point. I just don't understand the thought processes behind it. So,
Swerve had to lose for this nonsense bullshit.
And like the thing is,
luckily, Swerve is the next challenger after beating Ricochet. He is now the next challenger to Jon Moxley for the AEW World Title.
And hopefully they do the right thing and they put the belt back on Swerve.
I hope at this point, I hope they let Swerve stab Jon Moxley.
Yeah, they might.
I mean, they might legitimately hope. I mean, not to death. Like, let's be, just maybe like in the arm.
Yeah. Just a little flesh wound.
Just a little flesh wound. Just a little stabby.
That's it. Whatever. I mean, Moxley blades after fucking a back body drop anymore. Like, I don't know.
Although there was no blood in this match, thankfully. Although they were wrestling in everybody else's blood.
Yeah, of course. I mean, that's the thing with AEW pay-per-views, man. Like, everybody blows off everything, and like nothing makes sense. Everybody thinks everything's a blood feud, and I mean, we talk about it ad nauseum. You know what I'm saying? So kudos to Adam Copeland and Jon Moxley. Two people that I assume would notoriously want to blade, Jon Moxley included. I mean, if that dude can get color, like I said, he'll do it off of a back body drop if you let him. So kudos to them for making that happen. I think that, I had read something somewhere that the AEW cash-in contract that Christian Cage has, they had no plans for it, and they couldn't wait to get it off of their television, is the report that I read.
Well, I mean, they got it off in probably the worst manner possible, so good for them.
Yeah, and they ruined something that was actually a halfway decent little build.
It got there. It got some legs. But man, when he came in and cashed in and it became a triple threat match, you want to talk about sucking the wind out of a building. I mean, that shit was a vacuum. It was just... Anyway, so a disappointing end to AEW Revolution, despite a lot of high notes in the middle there. Mariah May and Toni Storm, in my opinion, stealing the show. Well,
it doesn't surprise me that you feel that way. So,
only a few matches in, but there were some other high points as well in that. And look at me saying Kenny Omega had a good match.
I'm proud of you, pal.
Look at me.
It's growth.
It's growth. It is. See, I didn't shit on everybody, just the main event. and the 0 Hour and Mercedes Moné. But yeah, otherwise it was a great 6.5 hours of pro wrestling that started at 6 p.m. and was over well after midnight. Although I watched it a few days later and sporadically throughout the day. But hey, who's counting?
Certainly not AEW. Anytime
No.
they put a fucking 7-hour pay-per-view out.
No, they're not.
So something I thought was interesting this week that I wanted to bring in here and talk to you about is the WWE ID program. So as it continues to gain some traction in the independent scene, we start hearing some more things. So Dave Meltzer has recently been said, well, I'm sorry, not Dave, maybe, probably, but it's credited to the Wrestling Observer newsletter. So,
well, that's only him and like one other guy. So.
Yeah, but so, with WWE ID talent, the deal, according to a contract, is that Gabe Sapolsky puts their matches together and gives the script to the promoter who has booked them. The promoter pays the talent and can push that the talent comes from WWE. WWE covers the travel cost with a stipend, and the promoter pays the difference if the travel costs are larger than the stipend. So, what's your thoughts on that? Like, I feel like...
I mean, that sounds like a pretty fair shake. I mean, especially to kind of get some new talent out there, some indie shows. I think it's very much it shows a branch of good faith from WWE towards the local talent and local promotions and things like that. Because let's face it, a lot of these talent aren't going to make it, right? Like some of them might have little fizzles in NXT. But a lot of them aren't going to make it. So the fact that WWE is just investing in talent, regardless of whether or not they actually make it to WWE, I think is a branch of goodwill. I mean, WWE's making money hand over fist. So I mean, they've got money.
For sure.
They've got money to burn. But luckily, they could just be throwing those at big contracts and shit, and they're not. They're they're throwing some money at local talent. So, gotta go put the dad voice on.
I do, and I have a follow-up to this. So we're just going to probably just go ahead and have to take a couple of minutes here unless you just want to ramble about something that's not WWE ID.
Okay.
Because I'm going to have to go upstairs and put my foot in some asses.
All right. Well, you do that, and I will talk about this delicious Jim Beam Blue Label. What is it? The Double Oak? I think this is my new favorite. To drink with a big, oversized, silly ice cube. See, the silly ice cube fills up the glass mostly, so you could just pour the drink in there, and then it fills with water, and as it goes down, you get that nice smoothness, but there's a little bit of bite to it because it's a double oak, a little higher on the ABV. I think we're at 85 or so, maybe 89, but still very nice. And then, really, really good. Really, really good. Goes great over some ice. I'm sure it would be great in a mixed drink. Really delicious stuff. But anyway, more on Walt's not here. Let's talk about Raw. All right. So at Raw, we had basically two things at the ends. We had John Cena in the beginning, and then a title match at the end, and then a bunch in the middle that was just either recaps or everybody having little matches that are just continuations of matches we had last week. We had Jey Uso go against Grayson Waller, which Grayson Waller got squashed by Jey Uso. I don't like that. I like not Grayson Waller. It was A-Town Down. It was it was Austin Theory got squashed by Jey Uso. Not a huge fan of Jey squashing Austin Theory. I feel like Austin Theory has a lot to has a lot to give, and I feel like him getting squashed by Jey Uso just randomly, on a Monday night is not great for his character, not great for the longevity of his career. Because I mean, the guy's really good, and I think eventually we're going to get the breakup of A-Town Down. We're not there yet. Obviously, it's not in the plans for WrestleMania. They're just kind of coming out as enhancement talent, it seems like, between now and WrestleMania, kind of, inserting their way in whatever feud seems necessary. They were on NXT a little while ago. Now they were on Raw just playing around, but man, for two guys that have such high ceilings, it feels like they're really just kind of being left to the side. Having their time cut, having their just everything sort of be kind of nonsense. Like it just doesn't work out as well as it probably should for these guys. And I don't know if maybe they need some more NXT time, but even NXT's roster is getting pretty full now. Or what, but I just don't see how they go from Austin Theory, particularly. I don't see how he goes from being just such a, Mr. McMahon's chosen one, like the stud, to, one of the longest reigning, youngest ever United States champions. And now he's just kind of a enhancement talent week in and week out. I mean, the guy can talk. He looks like $1 million. It just doesn't make sense to me. But yeah, so I was just ranting about how Austin Theory and Grayson Waller are getting the short end of the stick, at least up to WrestleMania. It seems like.
No, I don't think that's a bad take at all.
Austin Theory got squashed tonight, by the way, by Jey Uso, which was, I mean, it was more of an angle than a match, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I mean, they're in, that's just getting some babyface love for Jey Uso and some more momentum, just beating up an annoying fucking heel on his way to Mania.
We yeeted longer than the match was.
It doesn't surprise me. So circling back, we were talking about WWE ID. I'm sorry. So Brett Lauderdale, who is the owner of GCW, Game Changer Wrestling, right? Counter tweeted this, quote tweeted it, whatever the fuck it's called. He goes, my experience with WWE ID is, number one, Gabe doesn't put the matches together. 2, I've never seen or heard of a script. Number 3, we are allowed to push WWE ID on talent announcements, but we don't. And 4, I'm not aware of any travel stipend or travel share, but that would be cool.
I mean, kind of sounds like either somebody's not doing their job, or when they go to GCW, they assume GCW's got it because it's not a. I don't know.
It's got nothing to do with Dave just making shit up and getting called out.
It might just be Dave making shit up. That makes sense too. Or maybe that's what Gabe told him. You think that's what Gabe told him?
I mean, maybe they're just feeding fucking Meltzer all sorts of fucking just half-crocked bullshit and just let natural selection just figure it out.
Maybe. I mean, that would that makes sense too. I don't know, man. It seems to me like the WWE ID program does have, like, they've got to have some money behind it, right?
Yeah, I mean, they're looking at tomorrow's stars today. You know what I'm saying? Like, NXT is like today's stars tomorrow.
Right. Because tomorrow's Tuesday.
This WWE ID thing is like tomorrow's stars today, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense in my fucking ADHD brain.
Kind of. I don't know, man. It's one of those things where they bullshitting Dave, probably.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's everybody's favorite pastime.
Yeah, it seems to be. And because it's funny though that Dave doesn't double check, right? Like that's the funniest thing. Dave just doesn't double check. And when did he just start not double checking? With Dijak? When Dijak was his guy?
Yeah, probably. I mean, it might have been before that, if we're being honest.
Like, doesn't check. Well, my sources tell me, okay, so this is fucking wrong. Like that's how we could. Anytime WWE comes up and Dave has some sources, it's like, so this is fucking wrong.
Source says
he has a source, and it's somebody inside WWE who is meant to give him bad information. And he gets the bad information. What's shocking to me is that he keeps getting the bad information and he just keeps running with it.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this is the one.
What
This
the
makes
fuck? I mean, a bunch of people paying $14.95 a month. What the fuck does he care? Hey, and by the way, if you're still here hanging out with us, you don't have to pay us $14.95 a month. You can just hit that thumbs up button. Maybe even hit the consider subscribing. We would greatly appreciate it. Leave a comment over here and let us know that you're there. We would love to hear from you. But I don't know, man. It's fucking Meltzer, bro. Like, it's just he's just firing shit off. It's like he's got to get enough characters onto the internet every day. It's like he's got like a 14,000 character limit that he set for himself.
Yeah, he's got to get the words out in word vomit, seemingly, because if you listen to the man, I can't believe that he can put like sentences together in print. Because if you listen to him speak,
absolutely listen to him speak. I mean, and it's way worse than listening to me.
It's word salad. It's worse than word salad, and he's been doing this for a long time at a semi-professional level. I mean, like you said, people pay him $14.99 a month.
I don't know that that's the actual number. It sounded right in my head, you know.
I think it's pretty close. We can, you know what? We have the internet. We can find out.
Let me check it out. You know,
Wrestling Observers.
You do it because I don't want to get a bunch of Wrestling Observer newsletter pop-ups. I just got rid of all of that shit from whenever I was looking at the Meltzer Mania Awards a couple of weeks ago. So,
it is $150 a year.
So what is that? It's like $15 a month.
No, it is. It is $14.99 every month. You were dead on.
Man,
$375 a week. Billed $14.99 every month. Subscribe now. Cancel anytime. 1 year, $149.99, which is a savings of what? A little bit.
Yeah, like
2 months. You get 2 months for free, basically. So it's not even.
I mean, it's worth it if you're a fucking like lifetime subscriber. You know what I'm saying? Like if Dave is the gospel, like, you know, it's almost like the Wrestling Observer newsletter followers, listeners, whatever. It's almost like Scientology, right? Like, it's just so fucking. Some of those folks are just so fucking far out there. It's wild.
Yeah.
Dave, you know, our Lord and wrestling savior. Oh, hell.
So my favorite of that is what used to be good and then just turned into like, hey, the Wrestling Observer said is not Cultaholic, because Cultaholic's actually good. Is the
WrestleMania?
No, not him. That guy just makes his own shit up. That guy's further out. He just makes up bullshit. He reports things that only he's reporting on because it's absolute nonsense, and his source is his weird fantasy booking in his own head.
I mean, I'm into that. Let's make that a thing. I am just
What culture wrestling is the one. They're basically just like, well, according to Dave Meltzer, and it's like, oh, okay, great.
You could have just said it in like normal Pittsburgh.
No,
you had to like do it in like that weird fucking choochaholic fucking Irish UK
that's what
accent.
Andy H. Murray sounds like. According to Dave Meltzer.
No, I don't think he sounds like that at all.
Exactly what he sounds like. I'm Ryan Wilborn, blah, 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 blah. I've got to talk about Dave Meltzer over here with my ginger hair, sitting next to this bald guy, Andy H. Murray. And it's not H, it's H.
Wade Barrett calls him Triple H. Or like, what's the problem? You got a problem with folks from over the pond, eh?
Sometimes.
Huh? Are you not a true Canadian, eh?
Nah, I'm not Canadian.
Peace, love, and happiness, eh?
What's wrong with that? First of all, Canadians are not over a pond. They're north.
So you're going to tell me that the Great Lakes aren't a pond?
I do like Simon, though.
Simon
Miller.
Simon says, shut your mouth and know your role.
It doesn't matter what his name is.
You're eliminated because Simon says.
Give it up.
Tom S. Dangerously.
Now I'm 1-2. Simplement deux. Mr. 1-2. Simplement deux.
I love the fact that, like, this was your gimmick for the first 2 years of the show. And then I mentioned it last week. I edited it last week. And then you come back with the gimmick again, you know?
Well, if the shoe fits.
Hey, did you see this TikTok or this fucking Instagram live or whatever, fucking Tweety Bird live, whatever it was, that Bianca Belair put out this past week?
I did not.
Where she sat, like it looks like she's in a hotel bathroom, and she's just like this. You didn't see this?
No,
I
didn't.
feel attacked. Okay, let's talk about it.
Okay, yeah, let's, because I don't know what you're talking about. So I'm gripped.
So she types here in the caption or the Twix or the fucking Tweety Bird fucking foghorn leghorn fucking whatever the Elon Musk machine is these days. She goes, it's crazy some of y'all really thought I would do some shit like that. All the made up evidence and think pieces y'all wrote on here tainted my whole Elimination Chamber win. Felt like I was going crazy and felt guilty for anything I did. The switch up game is wild, but it's cool because I admit it was looking crazy. One day y'all will see I'm a real one. I still love y'all, but until then, if you still believe I had something to do with it, then cue the video. I don't know, but that's probably the video of her flipping everybody off. It said some of the hardest shit I've ever had to go through. I'm hurt and confused more than anything else. How the F am I supposed to focus on Mania?
Yeah,
you're fucking guilty, Bianca. That's why you had to put this out, okay? This is just like the fucking Mickey James thing, all right? What's in the fucking bag, Mickey? Seriously, Bianca, what do you have to hide? You actually might be palatable for a large segment of the fan base if you would have just said, yeah, I fucking did it. I threw that bitch right off the fucking ramp. You know, instead we've got fucking Naomi hanging out with fucking Drew McIntyre in front of a fucking quickie lube, really embracing that heel life. Like, what the fuck? Bianca, you let us down because you didn't do it, all right? You let a large segment of the audience down because you just had to be fucking Captain America, all right? You know, and I get it. Like, I'm into it. You're
little girls
great.
Love her.
You're great for the little girls, okay? But what about me? All right.
What about the guy that buys the tickets?
What about Tom? Right.
What about the guys that buy the fucking
that's exactly it. What about the guys?
What about those guys?
Tickets? What about the guys that pay for the fucking Netflix and the WWE network on Peacock every fucking month, huh?
We're the ones.
What about us? All right.
Yeah.
Just give me 6
now
months.
To watch all of wrestling. It's not just that we have to either have cable or pay for Peacock.
Months.
It's we have to pay for Peacock. We have to pay for cable. We have to pay for Netflix. Now,
don't make us wait until you're on your retirement tour to turn heel in the most dastardly fashion ever. Okay, just do it now. Just do it now.
Just do it. You were a great heel in NXT. Do it again.
Yeah. And like I said, we understand, we get it, but I'm disappointed that you're disappointed because we're disappointed that you didn't do it.
Because we wanted something cool for her, and no more of this.
I mean, it's cool. Like, I get it. Yeah. Woo, we're here for the girls. Oh, girl power, all that stuff. You can still be a badass bitch and still preach girl power. I'm here for it.
Yeah.
Just, keep throwing folks through windows.
Be a dick. Tell us Jade was holding you back. His bitch couldn't carry your shoes. So
I'm excited. Listen, I'm excited at the prospect of a Naomi heel run. We've been calling for a new gimmick for Naomi for 16 years.
Since before she left and since she came back.
So I'm here for that. And I hope that we can wrap our arms and legs around it and love, and feel great about it.
I hope it's great.
I hope it's great too. Friend of the show, Pat Martin. I hate the hair spinning. You know what though, BP? I've got to come clean here. There is nothing better than scrolling through reels on Facebook and seeing people retool the WWE 2K25 entrances to Bianca Belair's mannerisms. The Undertaker is by far the best one that I have seen.
Have you seen the Andre the Giant one?
No, I haven't.
Oh, it's funny.
Okay, I'm gonna have to go.
Andre the Giant, Bianca Belair entrance.
Whoever's doing that, you keep that up because this shit is gold.
There's 150 characters on this year's roster.
Right. Plus, they just announced the next 8 months worth of fucking downloadable content. So like,
Just keep going. You got so much,
just don't stop. You know
so
what I
much
mean?
to do.
Do you have if you have like a PayPal or something, you let me know. I'll send you a few bucks so you can buy you can put it towards buying a fucking a player pack.
A DLC,
as long as you just keep on keeping on.
I'll give
Put
you
every
a
single
$5.
one of them motherfuckers on Bianca Belair's entrance.
I want to see the Big Show. I don't think I've seen the Big Show.
Well, it's the big slow. Hey, did you see the rumor that he's dating J-Lo?
I did.
That's
I
wild.
saw them together. There was a pic. You sent it to me.
I did send it to you. That's why I brought it up.
It was a picture, and I'm like,
Yeah.
that can't be true.
Is that? I mean, if it is, hey man, you want to talk about outkicking your coverage. You know what I'm saying? Good for him if that is in fact true. Speaking of more wrestling romance, Miro and CJ Perry are apparently back together. They never officially divorced. So CJ and Damian, I guess, just had a little flingy fling, if you will, and all is forgiven.
It just took a little break, little quick break.
Yeah, she posted something on Instagram the other day, and it was like, "Oh, Mira took my grandfather out for a beer." Oh, it was like whatever. He was like 99, and like he died a couple of days prior to that. But like a couple of days prior to him passing away, they took him out on the town or whatever. It was real heartwarming post, and I was just like, "Wait a minute." And then this news broke, and I was just like, "Huh, oh, that makes a lot of sense." Probably green card status, something like that. Probably U.S. citizenship or something. Probably.
Yeah, that's what it was. There was, hey, if we're not married, this Trump guy, I don't know, that money machine's gonna stop real fast. Like, oh shit, all right, let's leave that go.
Yeah, I don't know. Just a lot of, you know what I mean?
Getting dick down in Dallas.
So, before we get into the
in Raleigh.
Before we get into the new tag team champions on SmackDown, which has just been such a phenomenal division to watch in the last couple of weeks, and obviously Punk and Rollins, with the addition
tearing the house down,
one Roman Reigns. There's something I noticed this week, and I really wanted to. I think that this is right up. This particular subject matter is right up Tom S. Dangerously's. It's right up your alley, and that is the digital back library of WWE.
Yes.
I found it extremely fascinating today, or not today, but I mean this past week, the announcement of the WCW YouTube channel.
Yes.
Which was also followed by the announcement of the ECW YouTube channel.
Yes.
Which followed the couple weeks previous announcement of the WWE Vault YouTube channel,
yes,
on top of the already extremely active WWE YouTube channel.
It's the WWE YouTube channel is the most subscribed to sports channel on YouTube. Or was.
Yes.
Probably
I mean, they run that they ram that down our throats like Roman Reigns in 2015 every chance they get. But I think that it's interesting because you look at Peacock, you look at the WWE Network, and the user interface on WWE Network was just chef's kiss.
Right? Oh, it was great. It was like it was put together by a wrestling fan for wrestling fans.
Yeah, right. And then obviously, the Peacock deal happens, $5 billion, 5 years, massive streaming contract, but the bastardization of the WWE catalog happened in that.
So there was a lot of censoring. I will give them credit where credit is due. They put together packages of things very well on Peacock to where if you want to, and I think they took this from the network probably, but if you want to watch the Ric Flair versus Macho Man Randy Savage feud, you can start that and it'll play every Raw, every pay-per-view, every Saturday night's main event, whatever. Anytime there was a clip of that, it'll play. You have to watch the whole show, obviously, but it'll string all those shows together. You can watch them for whatever that is, a 2-month span or 3-month span, whatever it is. I wish it was a little more user friendly, and it's like, well, let's just go to the Macho Man. I wish there was a Macho Man button or whatever, some kind of, go to the feud button in there. That would I feel make it a little bit better if that was if they were time stamped for that. But the fact that it exists in that I do like, and I've watched a few feuds that way.
Yeah, I mean, I think I went through Undertaker Edge in that manner too. Leading up to, what was it, WrestleMania 28?
Yeah.
That sounds right. No.
Before, no, 28's too
27. It was 27.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to fact check myself on that because it's going to bother me if I'm wrong. And then I put it out there into the ether. Undertaker.
WrestleMania 24.
Was it 24?
24.
Huh. So it was the year before Good versus Evil, WrestleMania 25. Shawn Michaels, Undertaker, best fucking match, best Undertaker match of all time. I mean, even though that WrestleMania 24 main event between Edge and Undertaker was pretty fucking top notch. Edge was the guy to beat the streak. Dropped the ball on that one, but Adam Copeland, as Adam Copeland tells it today, I would have never done that anyways, man.
Yeah,
I'd have never done. That's not going to work for me, brother.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Bob.
Coach Hogan. Okay.
Yeah.
You did what Vince said you were going to do.
Yeah.
You said, "Thank you, sir. Can I have another?"
Absolutely. So circling back, with what we all kind of anticipate to be the end of the Peacock deal at the end of this contract, right?
You don't think they'll re-sign with Peacock?
I don't. I think that they're going to move everything to Netflix. I think that this was the Raw. I think the entire catalog comes to Netflix. And when I say entire catalog, I mean entire catalog of all things current or strictly WWE, because with the launch of these other YouTube channels, it seems like that's where the library is going to live now, is on YouTube.
So I feel two ways about that, actually. So I have a conclusion, and I feel two. One, I hate that they keep switching it. I think that's way number one that I don't like. I really liked, like you, I really liked the way the WWE Network itself worked as far as the legacy stuff worked. It was such a robust.
Fantastic.
It was everything. It was everything unedited, unfiltered, and then plus some original programming. That's what we don't get anymore, is the original programming that I loved. The cartoons, the WWE.
Yeah, but the thing is, there was supposed to be some original. I think part of the Peacock deal was that there was going to be Peacock produced originals, and we've only gotten two.
Well,
we got Cody Rhodes and we got the Bray Wyatt.
Yeah, and
the Ric Flair. We got three.
The Ric Flair too, yeah, and there's a lot on A&E, I think, too, which is good. But I really like that 3 minute, the table for three. A lot of that stuff was just so that stuff to me was just as compelling as, oh shit, well, nothing's on tonight.
Super mark for that shit.
Yeah, oh shit, nothing's on. All right, we got fucking William Regal. Hell yeah, let's go with that. That to me is that I miss that. So that's my one way I feel about it. But my second way that I feel about it is that YouTube. Now, obviously, things can come and go on YouTube, but if you want to leave it on YouTube forever, YouTube has thus far been the most forever kind of streaming, video watching, internet-based thing. The first video ever,
it just continues to get bigger.
Huh?
I said it just continues to get bigger.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And it's just it works on everything. It's free with ads, obviously, but it's free, so you can just get this stuff. And I think that's the biggest part to me, is that all this legacy stuff is now accessible to anybody who can sign up for a YouTube. You don't have to sign up, just fucking search WWE, Ric Flair, whatever, and you fucking find it. The legacy stuff, and it's free. It is free to you. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to enter your credit card. You don't have to do anything. You just get it and you watch it, and it's great. And so I like that.
Because that puts you in a situation to help grow the next generation of fan.
Yeah.
Especially from a pro wrestling historian standpoint, where it's like, this is here how we got here. This is this. This is this. This is this.
Well, it makes it so easy to access too, is because YouTube is so easy to access. It's like, oh well, I want to see the Undertaker's debut. It's like, oh, the whole show is right here on YouTube, and I can see the Undertaker's Show me everything to do with the gobbledygooker. It's all there. Fucking love Mean Gene Okerlund. Like, and what's great about this too is that they can now, and I'm sure they will, do super cuts of things where it'll be, hopefully, like I was saying before, where it's like, okay, we got the Macho Man versus Ric Flair feud. Well, we're gonna take all the clips of this, not the whole pay-per-views, but all the clips, and I think it's maybe easier to do this on YouTube, is just carve it up, timestamp it, and be like, here was Raw on this day, here was SummerSlam, here was Raw here was Raw there, here was fucking In Your House, here was whatever. Just and you can timestamp it, and you can put the timestamp in, and it would be such a tool of like a historical tool, because let's face it, I mean, pro wrestling is pop culture history at this point now. It's just as important as the Beatles or the Rolling Stones.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's vast history, and very rich history. And I think, shows like WWE Rivals on A&E does a great job highlighting those things. The Rival series on WWE Network, you talk about the originals that they offered, some of their best pieces. And then you've got the show Timeline that was on WWE Network. These are all great things to give you the ability to revisit these feuds. Timeline, for instance, reminded me how great Mickie James and Trish Stratus, their feud was.
It's so good. And WWE is so good at sort of clipping things together and sort of like editing it in such a way, because let's face it, it all happened live. So like they edit it in such a way where it's like, well, this sucked. And like, with the ability of hindsight, we're just going to forget about this part. And this is what's canon now. And it's like that. A great example of what they did when The Rock came out and rambled his ass off on Netflix a couple weeks ago. When they cut that down, like right before Elimination Chamber, when they cut that into like whatever 45 seconds from 20 minutes of bullshit, like, thanks for watching Moana.
Hey, speaking of 45 seconds, if you could just take 45 seconds, head on down to the bottom of your screen, hit that thumbs up button. We would greatly appreciate you. And then that'll help you navigate through our 20 minutes of bullshit. So
anyway, so like they clip it into 45 seconds and you're like, oh, that was actually a great promo. But if you watched it, it was like, well, that actually was terrible. But now that you've cut it into this nice, concise package, it's like you could see he got there. So great. And so I think there's a lot of potential, I guess, to put a bow on it. There's a lot of potential to put this stuff on Netflix or on YouTube, because just the YouTube, the tools for YouTube seem to me to be very conducive to catching up on wrestling, watching old stuff. Because let's face it, you're not watching it week in, week out just to burn time because it's what's on.
I think the biggest problem and the biggest advantage to moving this content to YouTube is, how many times is like do we bring something up randomly in our group chat, and then it's like, man, I haven't seen that in a while, I'm gonna go, and then you gotta like clunk through Peacock, and then the fast forward function sucks, and
well, you have to Google it first to figure out what pay-per-view it's on.
Yeah.
And then you go to that pay-per-view and you're like, all right, what fucking match? And you're Googling this too, like, what fucking match in the card is this? And you're like digging through like a Google on your phone, and you're like, all right, it's the 5th match and it's after Piper and whatever. Piper and Jake the Snake. All right, hold on. Whatever. Fast forward. Who's this? Nope. Who? No. But like on YouTube, you just scroll down to the description and you're like, Piper versus Roberts. Click. Boom. There you are. Yeah, I'm sure you have to watch like an ad for fucking State Farm or whatever insurance company is.
Khakis.
Yeah. So you got to watch an ad or two, but then there you are. You're right there. Oh, that's what I was looking for. I found it. I'm here in whatever 30 seconds to a minute and a half if you're unlucky.
Yeah. So, I think from that standpoint, it's going to drive folks, especially the younger generation that lives primarily on their pocket device, right?
YouTube is the most watched thing.
I watch a lot of YouTube shit. Like there's a lot of things that I follow.
Kids, everybody does. Like the only thing I watch YouTube everywhere except on TV for whatever reason, and that's probably just my millennial brain and how that works. But sometimes I do.
I love it. I'll fire it up on the old projector all the time to sit here and just tube some news. You know what I mean? With my Insta Snap and my Faceogram and all that good stuff.
Done amazing for music videos, that's for sure.
Yeah, music in general. Like if I'm cruising in the car and I was like, man, I really want to hear that song because I don't pay for Spotify because
I do.
I'm a podcast guy in my journeys, so like, set it and forget it type of thing. Like I like to, enrich my brain.
Don't start because like once you start paying for Spotify, it's like fucking heroin. Like you won't. I've been giving Spotify $10 a month for I don't know a decade. At no point am I like, maybe
$1,000, bro.
Huh?
That's like $100,000, bro.
It's not that much money, but
yeah, for 10 years.
All right, hold on.
You got $120 a year.
No, I mean,
yeah, 120. 12 months times 10 is 120. Okay, and then you take that number, 120 times 10. That's $120,000, Bob.
It's $1,200.
No, it's not.
Just did the math.
No.
It's $1,200.
No, 120,000.
You do 10 times 12 times 10. It is 1,200.
Yeah, of course it is because it's it's doing the order of operations out of order. Do 12 times 10.
Why am I playing with a calculator with you right now?
12 times 10.
I know I'm right.
And then take that number and times it by 10.
It's still $1,200, Walter.
I know it is, you fucking idiot. God damn, I'm good.
That's why you did this to me.
That's why I did this to you.
Because I was like, it's 1,200. You do this all day. That's why you're like 12, 10, 10, 10. You did all that in your head.
Oh yeah. I don't have to do it anymore. It's kind of weird.
Isn't that so nice?
Hey, not really, man. I'm kind of bored if I'm being honest with you. But it's like, hey, man, why
is your blood itchy?
Like, why are you doing that? Whoa, okay. Well, I don't think you should do that. You should go tell that person not to do that. That's what I do now. And then I walk away, and then I come back, and I'm like, hey, man, didn't I just tell you to tell that person not to do that? Uh-huh. Well, then why is that person still doing that thing that I asked you to tell them not to do? Oh, okay. Well, will you go fix it now? And then I walk away, and I come back, and, like, it's kind of half-assed being done. And then I'm like, hey, nice job. Good job. That's a win. We started something today. Let's stay on that.
Great. So good for morale.
That's what I do.
So glad you're keep all the morale up.
God bless America.
You keep my morale up.
I mean, I don't know how
by making me do math.
I don't know how I keep anybody's morale up these days. Like I just look at myself in the mirror every morning and I'm just like, God, what have you become? You're just like a shell of yourself. It's a 40-year shell of yourself. You're just a little kitty cat, you know?
Yeah.
Used to be a tough tiger. Now you're just a little baby kitty.
To be fair, I have run at you and jumped into your arms for like the last 30 years of our friendship. So
it's a little baby kitty.
Maybe I'm the baby kitty.
So, I don't know, man, but to put a bow on that, like, I think that the way that they're handling the, the back catalog, I think is probably the smartest way. And, Netflix will eventually get whatever they get, probably Raw, SmackDown, pay-per-views. I'm sorry, premium live events. And, that'll just how you doing, keep it moving. But I don't know. I like it. I think they need to get some more shit uploaded. I was on the WCW channel yesterday, toiling around a little bit, and most popular videos got like 400,000 views, and it's the Hogan turn.
I mean, I think it'll get there, and I think it has a lot of potential. Once
they get that ECW fucking one going, though, those hardcore ECW fans are gonna fucking just gobble gobble gobble.
I hope so. My only concern, particularly with the YouTube stuff and for ECW and the legacy WWE stuff, is going to be the level of censorship that YouTube enforces on those channels. Because let's face it, it's not a matter of whether or not you can say fuck on YouTube. You can, but what is YouTube going to enforce? What's the WWE going to want to put out there? What are they going to edit out?
Yeah, I know, bub. I was wondering if you were one of the ones that's here, so that's why I threw that in there.
So what's the editing going to be like, and because we're also talking about like decades and decades of stuff. What was okay in the Attitude Era? Calling Kevin Kelly a hermaphrodite. Is that gonna be on there?
It should be. It's history, brother.
It should be. But are they going to censor that? We're going to beep him. What are we going to do? There's a lot of things that I'm concerned. Not concerned is the wrong word. That I'm curious. Is are they gonna let these things slide, or are we gonna is it just going to be taken as like a historical moment in time?
Hey man, I'm saying is if you Google search fucking Hiroshima, all right, you didn't get a fucking edited version, and a lot of people died. Okay.
I mean, that's fair, and so I'm hoping that it just is, at least for the long run stuff. Like obviously the stuff, if they edit stuff together to be like, hey, here's the Ric Flair versus Macho Man feud.
Woo.
They can sort of pick and choose what clips and how long they're going to let the clips run and what have you. They can edit it down to a very palatable, very modern. Hey, if you watch this for an hour, you're going to watch this whole feud and you're going to love it. And then we're going to carve out little bits where Ric Flair says he's going to fuck your mom. But like otherwise.
Well, you got a problem with Space Mountain, bub?
I got no problem with Space Mountain, but I feel like if
I knew it.
I don't know what you knew, but
you were around for the wiener twirling too, weren't you?
I was not on that flight.
That's impressive, Mr. Flair.
That's probably what I'd have said if I was there, though. To be fair, that's what I'd have said. I'd have made the Mickey Mouse laugh and everything. Popped Ashley with that.
Oh shit! Well, my job here is done.
We're done.
Oh shit! So, I don't know. I think it's just something interesting to keep our eye on moving forward. I agree with you though. What's that level of censorship going to look like? Especially because WWE prides itself on being that PG company, and one thing I did notice is the WWE logo in the bottom right hand corner. On the old letterbox, and just kind of sitting there like this, right? Well, Hulk Hogan's. Let me tell you something, brother. This is the new world order of wrestling, brother. Brother. Yeah, brother.
Where did you even get that?
So this is from a Hardee's Happy Meal, like 5 years ago.
Back up. You have a Hardee's?
Yeah. Look right there. It says Carl's Jr. on it / Hardee's. It was in a kid's meal.
Well, that's awesome.
I've got it on the end of a bottle opener, so it's like a fathead stick.
It's kind of far. Far. I was just informed that there's Hardee's close to us, and nobody's got me Hardee's anytime recently. So
I don't know what to tell you, brother.
I don't know if I'm being A gaslit or what at this
brother,
point?
brother.
All I know, brother, is that
And that's exactly what it's like.
Kev-
If I could move this over and cover your face, that's what would happen, brother.
that me and Big Kev. Now I have to watch it because I'm not exactly.
Well,
sure
I mean, you contribute to the 435,000th view.
Probably. I'll watch it once and go.
But it's the whole match, so like, pretty cool.
We get to watch the best of Lex Luger then.
Who's he here for? Oh, hey, speaking of Lex Luger going into the WWE Hall of Fame, huh?
Love it. That's why I brought it up.
That's dope. I actually have WWE Hall of Fame scribbled on my little notepad here, because I was going to ask you what you thought so far about the way the class is shaking out with
best
Triple
class
H
Best
headlining.
class in a while.
Wow, really?
If I'm being honest, best class in a while.
It's just because everybody's alive. That's why.
Yes, like that's not that. I feel like that should absolutely be a criteria. Let's induct these guys while they breathe.
What about the natural disasters?
I was going to say they haven't announced that yet, but
I selfishly I want demolition.
So I think because they're still alive, I don't think we get them until one of them dies. But I know.
I mean, Fred's still floating around.
Fred Ottman's great. Fred Ottman's still alive. He still goes to things. Yeah, Tugboat's still alive. It's Earthquake, who sadly John Tenta passed away. So sadly, bladder cancer. Only in he was in his mid 40s.
Yeah, he was in his mid 40s. Golga, don't forget he was Golga.
He was Golga. Honestly, great as Golga.
Yeah, he was good as Shark Boy too.
The Oddities, that was sort of terrible. But he was not the Shockmaster. That was Fred Ottman.
Yeah, it was Fred Ottman. It ruined his career.
How did Tugboat not ruin his career? You're fucking a tugboat? Get the fuck out of here.
It's like that episode of South Park, the What Would Russell Crowe Do episode.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm talking about?
Tugger fighting around the world.
Woo, woo.
Yeah. He was so even when we were 7, that shit was lame, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. I did love me some Tugboat though, just because my dad kind of looked like Tugboat. If my dad had the little curly fucking, my dad looked like Tugboat.
Now that you say that.
Yeah, the old man definitely looked like Tugboat. Let me see if
he had a tugboatiness to him.
Let me see if I have a picture of the old man on my my social media, because
tugboat form. Because when he was clean shaven, it wasn't he wasn't as tugboaty.
No, but I mean, I look an awful lot like my old man, but my dad definitely looked like fucking Tuggers.
You look like your dad, but your dad looks like your dad plus Tugboat.
Yeah.
That's the best way I could describe it.
Yeah, I don't have anything readily available here, just because he's been gone since before social media was a thing. So, yeah, but that's facts though. My old man definitely looked like Tuggers.
I never thought about it
that. Yeah. So when I was growing up, it's funny though, because even a couple months ago, Little Man was Kevin Owens came out, and Little Man was
looking at you. Remember that one time there was a guy holding a head up, and we were like, Walt, is that
WrestleMania
head? Because
WrestleMania.
Yeah, because it kept the first several times we saw it was on quick pans, but it was holy shit! On those quick pans, it was wait, was that Walt? How many texts you definitely got a text from me?
I did. I got quite a few actually. I was at your house.
You got one from Adam, I know. I think you got one from Wargo. You had to have got at least 3 or 4.
Yeah, I definitely got 3 or 4. I think friend of the show, Pat Martin, might have even texted me and been like, "Is that your head?
Is that what's going on here? Is that you?"
So
because Adam texted me first and goes, "Dude, is that Walter? Is that Walt?" And I'm like, I thought the same thing. Stop reading my mind. We were not in the same room. We were states away, and all of a sudden it was boom! Oh my god!
States away. You were coasts away.
Coasts, yeah. Well, And then weirdly enough, we were together the following night. It came back. And we were like, "Oh, it's not!" But holy shit!
Hilarious. Fucking hilarious. So, moving on, the road to WrestleMania continues. Friend of the show, Pat Martin, says, "This is why I love the Macho Man. I kind of look like him." I mean, sure, pal. Sure thing.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, friend of the show, Pat Martin, did send me a picture when he was on vacation with like some like pit vipers on. And he very, very much looked like Macho Man.
He could be. He could be the Macho Man. You get the right bandana, the right pit vipers on him.
He didn't have a bandana on.
He needs to get the beard in the right shape, but you can get there.
Well, it's a 3-stage process, if you
It
didn't
is.
know. Just throwing that out there.
Flow with the eagles, and I'm slithered with the snakes. Oh yeah.
Oh, the cream of the crop. Anywho, so let's zero in here on the main event, so to speak. New tag team champions this past week. The Street Profits beat DIY. The SmackDown tag
crazy build, insanity. That shit has been fucking crazy.
It's been great,
unpredictable, and crazy as fuck.
Make tag team wrestling great again.
Make me have to watch. So I'm like, what the fuck are these? What the fuck's gonna happen?
You to say it. Almost got you to say it. You caught yourself. Almost got you.
You did.
Almost got you.
But still,
our redneck, the portion of our redneck audience would have been like, oh.
He said it. Make it something great. Nope. So anyway, make me want to watch TV, and make me have to. Like I fucking have to. Okay, because I have no idea what's going to happen, especially on Fridays. Now they're just fucking with me. They were just fucking with me every week. It's like, shit, what's going to happen? Is Pretty Deadly going to get it? No, it's a triple threat. And like, they could have gone anywhere. Fucking Nick Aldis was unhinged and everything shit was popping off. And it was like, I didn't know what was going to happen, when it was going to happen. So I had to watch because I'm invested.
What was up with the whiteboard segment? Like, it was too much.
It was too much. The one that was the week prior, but yeah,
I know, but
he was like, and I'm like, what is he gonna draw? A pentagram? Like, what is he drawing? Like, it ended up not being anything, but I'm like, no, okay, we're not going with a pentagram because now we've just got triangles kind of stacked on each other and scribbles, and now okay. So anyway, but yes, you're right, because I thought we were going to get somewhere, and I thought he was going to draw something, but then we found out Nick Aldis can't draw. So, and the new tag team. Now that's like what, 3 weeks in a row we've had title changes on.
Absolutely.
On television.
Does that make you feel dangerous?
It does, because now like you have to watch because like, oh shit, titles might change hands on TV. They're being defended on TV. Fuck, like they let Io beat Rhea, and that honestly has been that. So that's a big. There's 2 segments of that tonight. Very good shit. That's good shit, pal. That's good shit, pal. It's putting everything in a way that was not predicted. And now we're just like, well, like you can kind of predict it now, but like we're at the finish line now. It's like you didn't predict this last year. This is a thing you predicted this year after we spoon fed it to you. You fucks, you had no idea. So great, good shit. Like you said, and I think there's still room for a swerve in there with Bianca maybe actually being. Were you changing guitar strings? You have a little Allen wrench. That's what comes with guitars with Floyd Roses.
Yeah, but I play drums. I don't play guitar.
So is that your drum?
No, my drum key is with my drum set.
That makes sense.
There, where it belongs. I just have random things on my desk, bub. Like,
I'm just wondering where you got it. If you got like somebody, there was a guitarist over.
You want a paintbrush?
All right, now I'm confused.
I mean. But I got, like all kinds of just random shit sitting here that I may or may not be sensory overloaded with. I don't know what you want from me.
That's fair. Okay.
How about a tape measure?
You've literally just pulled out the 3 most random things.
I mean, name something.
Bubblegum.
Bubblegum.
Nice.
Hit me again.
Nail clippers.
Ooh, that's a good one. I don't have those here. I did, though.
I did.
Because I was flicking them, but they were needed upstairs. All right, give me one more.
Some kind of a stand, like either a phone stand or like a prop stand or something.
That's not really fair. I'm sitting at my podcast studio desk.
Yeah, okay.
I've got stands and arms and anchors everywhere.
You're right. Okay. Dumbbell.
Not just me.
I do have a dumbbell.
Friend of the show, Pat Martin, says lighter. That's actually right there.
Oh, that's easy. I can hold
my candle.
I got lighter fluid. I got knocking them over. That's a knife. Never mind.
Here's one for you. I've got marinara sauce.
I would not even guess to ask about.
Well, don't forget, I had Sonic last week, and that's just been sitting there.
I wouldn't eat that.
I also have mezcal.
Ooh.
Yeah. Casamigos mezcal.
I was going to say Casamigos. That's pretty good.
It was a gift. I'd never had their mezcal. I have a great story about friend of the show, Pat Martin, me, who we are convinced were Mexican cartel members and mezcal in the Bahamas.
I think mezcal's gross, but that's just me. It's because of the worm.
It absolutely was a great night, sir. Those guys were the sweetest 2 human beings I ever met in my entire life. And it wasn't the Bahamas. It was actually when we were in Austin, Texas. And then we come to find out the bartender at the hotel bar that I had befriended, because, like, you go places and you spend your money, and like there's a lot of drunk folk that are in the same spot every night. You've got to set yourself aside from the crowd. And for whatever reason, she liked what I had to offer from the guest interaction standpoint. So we come to find out that they were there for Texas Roadhouse to try to get, their mezcal into the company, but they were really there because she was a top 3 mezcal. Well, they called her an agave sommelier. Sommelier, yeah. She was an agave what is it? Sommelier. Listen, I'm a fucking restaurant guy. I can't even say the word.
It's fine.
And
you don't have those.
Top 3 in the world for agave. And she was like just working a bar shift at a hotel bar. Pretty fucking cool.
I mean, her dad maybe owns the hotel, so the whole ass fucking chain. She's a hotel heiress. I fucking owe PennDOT $3. God damn it. What, damn it?
Friend of the show, Pat Martin, says the CEO was the talker and the founder was the hippie. They were a fun time. They were a fun time. We enjoyed those couple of hours. Speaking of enjoying a couple of hours, obviously we were hot and heavy talking about the SmackDown Tag Team division. Really looking forward to the prospect of Pretty Deadly getting a WrestleMania title win.
Well, we got to talk about this match. This match was insane. Like, this shit would The Street Profits are like, man, they have been sort of floating in some no man's land for a while. And they came back and have just been not really cutting promos. I mean, a little bit, but like just hard beating the shit out of folks, And I feel like this hard-hitting Street Profit stuff has been,
Thank you, Almighty.
yeah, it's been so much better. I really thought that had legs, if I'm being honest, like a Hurt Business, but not quite the Hurt Business. And I really thought that had legs, especially with BFAB too, who I feel like has been like, they push her out there, and then it's like, oh, BFAB's a big deal, and then you don't see her for 3 weeks. And
I mean, she wrestled Charlotte this week, bro. I
oh,
don't know that it gets much bigger than that.
yeah, but like she wasn't with. I don't know. We'll see. But like we didn't see her for 2 weeks before that.
I feel like they've disconnected her, and they're just trying to push her as a singles female competitor, bub.
Anyway, maybe she's not with the Profits anymore. Although I feel like she was just standing there with them the other day.
I mean, maybe she was. Maybe
this
that's
is
just
a
how
very-
forgettable it is.
It's just being a very recent turn of events. But yeah, the whole gloriousness of the Street Profits and their win and all of that has been really it's been really good. But like I don't feel like anybody's hurt in it, and I feel like Pretty Deadly's like now coming up, and like DIY is already like up because they are the BTTITW. And then let's not forget the Motor City Machine Guns.
The Detroit City Bang Bang Gang.
The Detroit Bang Bang Gang, yeah. Let's not raise your fist. And I know the internet doesn't like that, but I fucking love that shit.
Mark.
Yes, we've established this. We all are.
Just gotta make sure I point it out every once in a while.
This.
Just gotta keep you honest.
So just such a good, like I said, kind of crescendo on, and like kind of the point that we've been driving home for weeks now is that like you can't miss WWE television because what the fuck's gonna happen? Holy fucking shit! Like really, this guy's had the title for 8 months.
What do you see?
Cult of personality, and like not only are they leading with like, hey, Seth Rollins versus CM Punk in a steel cage. Could you 3 years ago? Could you imagine if somebody would have told you that? Like, was that the main event of WrestleMania? No, they put that on Monday.
I mean, it was in Madison Square Garden. We're not there yet. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to derail your tag team.
Glorious. Loved it. Loved the whole match. I'm sad that like we're not going to get more like Blackheart, Tommaso Ciampa like as the champion being like the worst guy ever, like coming out to no music and shit. But like I'm really liking what they're doing with him on the main roster, if I'm being honest. His sort of like old guy farewell tour. Getting to hang out with Johnny. He's probably going to turn on Johnny, and they're going to get to have their own little feud. Or maybe it'll be the other way around. Like they'll probably get to have their own little singles feud, and that'll be fun. And that'll kind of be the crescendo for both of them.
Wow. Hey, Stone Cold said that he hadn't talked to anybody since Vince left. Said that on an interview a couple days ago.
I did not see that. Yeah, that's shocking to me.
They hadn't talked to anybody. Now, I mean, that could just be, oh, Stone Cold, give me a beer, brother.
I mean, and it could be like, I mean, they don't need him. What are they going to do? Like Vince, they don't really need to bring him in. And didn't he just turn something down right before Vince left?
I mean, they'd be bringing Hulk Hogan in, that's for sure.
Well, Hulk Hogan called them. Let's be fair.
Let me tell you something, brother.
I got this beer here, brother, and we'd love.
Speaking of, I need to get that 6-pack up to you.
We'd love to give you money, brother.
I kept the box so you could have the whole experience.
Ooh, I want this experience.
Because the box is actually pretty cool.
I mean, I've seen the box of the commercial because they put the commercials on TV every week.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, he's not in them. I'm pretty sure he'd turn over.
Snap into a Slim Jim.
Pretty sure he'd turn over in his grave if he was in the Real American Beer commercials with Hulk Hogan.
Lanny would just come back from the dead to talk
shit.
Shit about him.
Huh?
Lanny would just come back from the dead to talk shit about him. That's all.
Would. I think that Hogan says that they buried the hatchet before the end. But I don't know that I believe that. I just don't know. I don't think so.
Not a fucking chance.
Yeah, it seems to me it's more likely that he and Booker T are going to bury the hatchet before
Randy Poffo didn't seem very reasonable.
No, or forgiving, or yeah, none of those things are things I would have described him as.
Look at the adjective, pal.
Yeah.
So, what's this mean for the tag team division, though, you think, with the Street Profits winning, and just further burying the War Raiders just subpar Monday Night Raw run?
I mean, I don't know, because clearly, like, Montez and Dawkins are like leagues better than what the War Raiders have put out for the last 3-4 years or whatever. Really, the whole of their WWE run. Sort of,
They were dope in NXT.
They were dope in NXT. You're right. They were, and they had a great run with against the Street Profits. But man, I don't know. It seems to me as though the War Raiders are just holding the titles, keeping them warm for whatever happens next. I hope whatever happens next is. I mean, it probably happens with Judgment Day, right? Like, I feel like it goes back. Like they end up kicking Finn out, and something happens, and they get a new member, and yeah, then
no new members.
Right, but then without Finn, there'll be a new member. I mean, they'll probably throw out poor JD. He'll be thrown out of Judgment Day while he's home with all his ribs being broken, spitting up blood. Talking to Chris Van Vliet this week.
Chris Van Vliet, he talks to everyone, including fucking Bruvy Bruv.
Does talk to Bruv.
That was actually a really good interview. I listened to it today.
Yeah, Bruv can get words together now a little bit better. He's been working on it, working on taming the accent a little bit.
Bruv.
I mean, that's part of the gimmick, though. Now you got to be Bruv. Everybody's got to be Bruv. It's like Hulk Hogan being brother.
Yeah, brother.
Ooh, yeah, brother. Ooh, yeah.
Brother. Sister, brother.
Uncle, cousin.
Like that?
Yeah, like that.
So what do we think about the possibility of Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins versus CM Punk, night 1, main event, WrestleMania?
I don't think it's a main event. I think it kicks off night 2.
There's no fucking way that is not a main event with Roman Reigns. There's no way. I don't buy it. I cannot. I can't co-sign on that.
So I don't think it ends up as the main event. I think that it either holds the co-main event slot and goes on before Cody and John Cena on night 2, or I don't know. Maybe it's Jey Uso, and maybe Jey opens the show on.
I mean, Jey did say he didn't care if him and Gunther.
Jey would know, right? Like Jey would know. He would. That's a great thing to say when you know you're not opening the show. You're opening the show, right?
Yeah.
Like that's what you say. Like, oh, I called it. I don't care.
I mean, they opened the show with Brock Lesnar and Seth Rollins. Was that WrestleMania or was that SummerSlam?
That was SummerSlam.
Yeah. I mean, and it shocked everybody, right? But
Brock was so mad.
But it was dope.
It was dope because he squashed him.
Rollins won that one.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Rollins squashed Brock.
Yeah.
Like he kicked him in the dick and then like stomped him like 4 times, and that was the match. No, that was it. It was great. That's one of my favorite WrestleMania openers because it was just like one, obviously Seth Rollins mark. Two,
Greatest WrestleMania opening match of all time is and will forever be Owen Hart versus Bret Hart WrestleMania 10.
like I said, is one of the best.
No,
It's not that one. That
that
one's
is
better.
the best.
I said one of.
There is no match that has ever opened a mania of wrestling that will ever be more WrestleMania than fucking that match between Owen and Bret.
Fine.
Absolute masterclass.
I mean, it was yes. It was two of the greatest to ever do it ever, but they're brothers.
Yeah.
And have already done it together, greatest ever, in their basement.
See, now you just sound real fucking condescending.
I'm not condescending.
And I don't quite appreciate your tone. I think you need to go back and watch it this week so that you can come and apologize to me next week.
Is that my punishment?
Yeah.
Or my reward?
I mean, a little bit of both. I just, it'll be music to my ears whenever you have to come in here next week and say, you know what, Walt, I did my homework. You were right.
Is it on YouTube now?
I don't know.
It should be.
I mean, all you got to do is go to Peacock and go to WrestleMania and go to WrestleMania 10, and it's literally the first match.
I know.
So, don't stress too hard about it there, pal.
Okay.
Because, it's just...
YouTube is like...
I'm glad that we both think that this is a good thing. I think there's a segment of the WWE network stalwarts. I mean, like us, we still very much are marks for the WWE network. I think that there's a pocket.
It was the best streaming service when, in the infancy of streaming services, it was the best one. It provided you with the most interactive and it's
a very smooth user interface,
media centric, like the not like genre centric, we'll say, experience. Yeah. It was like you paid $9.99 a month, but you had access to everything. Everything was yours at your fingertips, beautifully crafted, put together by wrestling fans for wrestling fans. But now, I mean, they have the opportunity to do that on YouTube, so I think it'll be... Hopefully they do it, and they just knock it out of the park. That's what I'm going for. Knock it out of the park, boys. Let's go.
So, Roman Reigns versus CM Punk versus Seth Rollins. Surprised?
No.
Alarmed?
They got a lot of work to do.
Disappointed?
No.
Confused?
I don't think I'm confused either. I think that if done well and executed properly...
I mean, we're talking about three of the fucking most talented people to ever do this.
Yeah. Three of the most over guys in individually and but also it's a great way to segment the fan base into three, because you got your Roman Reigns guys and you got your Seth Rollins guys, right? And those guys don't agree. And then there's the CM Punk guys, and those guys don't agree with those other guys. And now you're in this match where it's everybody's fuck you, Roman should win. No. Fuck you, CM Punk forever. Fuck you, Seth motherfucking Rollins. And it's you've got all that, the fans are not going to agree on who should win this match, and literally anybody could. Hopefully anybody could. But it'll probably be Roman.
Guaranteed.
But anybody could. But it'll probably be Roman.
I think that's an interesting dynamic, right? CM Punk, Rollins, Roman. I think that we all believe that it'll be Roman, but what if it's Punk?
What if Roman and Seth kill each other, and that's why Punk wins?
And then does that set us up for a potential John Cena versus CM Punk at a international show? Two of the biggest. I mean, it won't be Saudi Arabia because Punk won't go there, but
just to close out his career, John Cena's career, the last match, John Cena CM Punk, like there's nothing left for him.
I think that has to be a title match. I think that's how you get the belt on Punk without any questions asked.
Maybe
is that he beats John Cena for it. That's the only way I can see that it makes sense.
Maybe you're right. And then maybe that's not Cena's final match. Maybe Cena's final match is Cena and Randy Orton just for fuck's sake or whatever.
Well, I mean, they are having a Saturday night's main event in Boston on like December 12th or 22nd or some shit like that.
Yeah, that would probably make sense there because it's the Saturday night's main event is basically like, hey, we're putting a house show on television. What do you want to see? Oh, John Cena's last match against Randy Orton. All right, that's got 10 minutes. That's it's going on last.
You know that's going to get more than 10 minutes.
All right, we'll get 12.
Probably more like 18. But
it's only a 2-hour show.
Okay, still fucking John Cena versus CM Punk, bro.
All right, 18. All right.
Like, how over was that connection in the middle of the ring at fucking Elimination Chamber? Like, that crowd was lapping that up with a spoon.
That crowd about imploded. I think that was the biggest pop of the night, if I'm being honest. And I think Triple H saw that and went, "Told you."
Guaranteed. So, interesting prospects leading into WrestleMania. Really excited to watch Raw today. Obviously, Aleister Black has still been heavily rumored to possibly appear this coming Friday. Maybe thrust himself into LA Knight's world. Still waiting the arrival of one Ray Fenix, who may already be under our noses, and we just don't know it.
He might be the guy who's not Chad Gable, who is Chad Gable but isn't Chad Gable. Which would be really fun because that puts him and Penta on the same show, but in wildly different storylines.
Yes. The internet's mad at the possibility that could be Ray Fenix. They're just gonna fucking bury Ray. Just let the man fucking get out there and do what he does, man. Like, let's just see. Like, this is new territory for them. And they're also fucking this rumor that the hidden meaning behind this whole Chad Gable quest is a way for WWE to resurrect Lucha Underground.
Either way, it's cool. I think if it ends up being Ray Fenix and it ends up like somehow we end up at WrestleMania, Ray Fenix versus like it kicks off the show, or maybe is like a pre-show match or something. Do they still do pre-show matches?
I don't
really. But let's say it's Ray Fenix versus Rey Mysterio. Like, is that not a like holy shit? Like, what the fuck kind of match? Like,
I don't know. I think it's kind of racy to me.
A little bit, but like how much does Ray have left? Like, let's be fair. And how many WrestleManias does Ray have left? So you're gonna, maybe throw Ray Fenix and Rey Mysterio together just to get it done because you can, kind of a thing. So I don't know. I'd be into it, especially because like I said, I don't think Rey Mysterio has too many WrestleManias left in him, and I think that if you say Rey Mysterio and Ray Fenix, we can do it. So we're gonna kind of a thing. I wouldn't hate it.
No, I mean, I think there's plenty of possibilities and probabilities that still could come. We'll just have to give a little wait and see skis and go from there.
I mean, we'll just watch it and keep going. Oh, I said it. I told you this was going to happen. Or if it pivots, like, well, I was wrong. Oh, well.
Yeah, and we'll just keep watching and we'll just keep talking and yeah. So, Well, Bob, I think that we've come to the pivotal point of our evening where we only really have one piece of business left, and that is the world famous One Fall WrestleCast match of the week.
My match of the week will shock you because for the first time in a long time, it comes from AEW,
Of course it does.
and it is Tony Storm versus Mariah May in the Hollywood ending.
You know, if this was a Planet Fitness, the fucking lunk alarm would be going off right now.
Well, luckily for me, I don't go to that purple gym. I don't go to any gym. And what a match! What a crescendo! What a finality! Just amazing. Just great stuff, top to bottom. I hope whenever WWE ends up buying AEW at some point, and they put together
You
a
gotta stop saying that, bro.
YouTube channel, and they put together a AEW Classics YouTube channel, and they put together strings of the greatest feuds of AEW. I hope that they really edit in a Mariah May versus Tony Storm edit feud, because I think that it will be the most watched and probably, honestly, the most worthwhile bit of business on that YouTube fictional future YouTube channel. So yeah, that's my match of the week because it was great. It ended what I thought was a great. It was a great end to what I thought was a great feud, great character work, and just they really did it. And it was really, I'm a better person for them having done it.
Well, no surprise coming from you that Tony Storm and Mariah May was your match of the week. Um, for me, my match of the week was without a shadow of doubt Seth Rollins versus CM Punk and Steel Cage, Madison Square Garden main event. Man, those guys really, really must hate each other because when they're together, their chemistry is through the roof. They lay their shit in. They make you believe that they don't like each other. And I'm very much at a point in time in my life where I believe that they don't like each other. Um, and they're just here to get paid and they're going to make money off of it. And I think they're doing a damn good job. Insert the tribal chief, insert the Paul Heyman gimmick at the end of the match. Obviously, we are on a collision course for WrestleMania. Um, the implications of those actions by one tribal chief, Roman Reigns, will weigh heavy until Monday, and cannot wait to see how that all starts to play out.
You're right. It is so good too, and it just is. Man, where they've put Roman at this point to just kind of be there to fuck everything up. Now you don't know what's going to happen because, like, is he going to listen to Paul Heyman and be calm? Is he just going to go unhinged and punch everybody in the face, including Paul Heyman? Because that's happened.
It has.
That's good. It's so good, and You're right. So it could be anywhere, and it could be anything, and it's probably going to be great. I don't foresee things with these guys not going well. There's just so much history, and I'm interested now. Now it's like back to the we got to watch TV every week.
Yep.
Now I'm interested in the build.
So, as we continue to get closer and closer to WrestleMania, we continue to just sit back and enjoy what's being presented to us, and just keep on being a fan. Because
we're just being pandered to at this point.
Yeah, a little bit. So, hey, if you're still hanging out with us, man, we appreciate you. Go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. Maybe even consider subscribing. We would greatly, greatly appreciate it. You can listen to us on any of your favorite podcast platforms. We are there. And we appreciate you guys over there too. It's awesome. Check us out over on Twitter and Instagram at @1_fall WC. That's ONE. And as always, thanks for hanging out. It's all love. We'll catch you next week. One Fall WrestleCast. That's not going to work for me, brother.
I mean,